So let's start off. Give us a quick, non-spoilery description of the film.
Non-spoilery one. Okay, let's take it this way. It's modern day. It's New England, University of Massachusetts students, led by the character Jill, played by Hannah, taking her friends away for a long overdue weekend away snowboarding in the mountains of New England, set against the backdrop of some things that happened in the 17th century that we're all aware of. Things don't go as planned. Have to take a bit of a detour, and they get stranded in the middle of nowhere. As the seemingly great relationships begin to fray, the onion starts to peel, and a figurative and then literal witch hunt ensues.
Sounds like it might have been based on an actual occurrence, or is it purely made up?
You know what? It's I'm going to say it's a film based on the writings of Christopher Borelli, who is from the area, has great love of the lore and what happened there. But I do believe this is just entirely made up.
Good. Horror in the snow always looks good.
Looks great, right?
How do you cope working in the cold?
I'll let Hannah start with that. How did you enjoy that, being from Alabama, being brought up to cold Canada?
It was challenging. It had its challenges for sure. Yeah, I'm from Georgia and I live in LA. We don't get that much snow. I had never seen snow like that. I mean, I was telling Jordan there was one day we got snowed out, actually, which I was like, phew. I never had a snow day before. So that was exciting for me. I felt like a kid. I'm like, oh yeah, hey. I opened my window and it was just like white. Pure white, which is really, really cool to see.
So it's a collection of people much younger than us in a car. Where did you, tell us a bit about your cast?
Yeah, so casting this it was one of the most gratifying and difficult experiences of my filmmaking career thus far. You've got 7 characters in a car, each having to have their, in hopefully the good film we were trying to make, each having their own point of view and perspective, and trying to bring that off the page. So trying to cast a group of people. I think in the writing we really worked hard to make sure every character had at least one anchor with one other character that they had either conflict with or a strong connection with. So as the movie unfolded, there would be that connection, that connective tissue between the characters. But I'm a firm believer that casting gets you 90% of the way there, and in this case, for sure, we had such a great cast. For Hannah's character Jill, it was a very tough character because she sort of comes into her own throughout the movie, and so you sort of start at a place where you're not quite sure what's going on under the surface. She's the kind of person that is hiding a lot of things about herself and sort of learning to have agency, and so we needed someone who had all that but could start to show those layers little by little.
So obviously it wasn't the snow, but so what attracted you to the role?
Yeah, not the snow. When I saw her was shooting, I was like, oh man, I hope I can. And that was one of the things on the call when I talked to Jordan. We were talking about the script. He was like, "Can you manage the cold?"
I warned her. I said it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I was. I felt a lot like I was shooting The Revenant. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is my Revenant."
But instead of like 150 days of shooting, it was 20 days shooting.
Yeah.
So, but you produced the film as well, Jordan.
Yeah.
Apart from giving yourself double the work, how do you cope with doing both at the same time?
Well, I have a great business partner, Gearsha Films, that our strategy, if I'm directing a film, once we hit production, he takes over most of the hands-on producing stuff, and I just nag him from the sidelines. But that's how we take care of that. I think producing films for me was a way of just trying to help get my films made. Like acting, I'm sure, directing can sometimes be a waiting by the phone kind of situation where you've got this project, you put everything into it, and then you're waiting for feedback endlessly. So producing was a way I could sort of jump the queue a little bit and be part of those conversations. Yeah.
And Hannah, it's because you're obviously in the Exorcist TV show. What's the difference between that and a feature? Is there a difference, or do you just treat them the same?
I tend to treat it the same. I mean, TV you have less time typically than a feature, but in indie filmmaking, it's a lot of of run and gun also. So it's just like being
Mm.
the utmost prepared you can be on set for whatever comes your way, and then, you know, things go wrong sometimes, or they don't go as planned, and you're ready for it. So.
Because Jordan, you're also described as an actor. You've been in loads of...
I've been described.
That came out well.
It's funny, yeah.
Yeah, well, what was going through my mind is I was reading on IDBN, it says actor. Well, that's what I was
It's
thinking.
alphabetical, unfortunately.
Yeah, yes. Weren't you tempted to cast yourself?
Not even a little bit. No, no. I have in a few of my films. I started with this idea that I would always play like some little part, you know, kind of like, you know, do a Hitchcock sort of. I would name the characters Hitchcock, but that sort of faded away. I like most actors. I was talking to Hannah about it. Absolutely detest watching myself on camera, and the few times I have put myself in my films, it's been the worst part of the film. I can't even believe I would be in there. So I stopped doing that. I acted early on in my career as a way to get closer to the center of the action. I found, you know, generally the jobs out of film school, there's not an ad for director for hire. You know, you got the helpers, the PAs, things like that, which are great jobs. But if you're the path to directing is not necessarily through those.
Yeah.
So I found, having done, I think I had done one play in high school, and the casting director, my friend who had become a casting director, remembered that and asked me to audition for a short. I did that, and I found myself, I had leapfrogged into the center of the creative circle with the director and all that. I said, this is pretty interesting. I can learn about acting. I can be with the director. So I have done a few things in that regard.
Well, I look forward to the screening it, and it's in under an hour.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it'll play very well. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.